Welcome to my official ranking of the entire ranked map pool here in Year 9 Season 2, fully updated for 2024. I did one in the past, but obviously the pool has changed, the meta's changed, my opinions have changed, so we're going to be doing a fully new updated one here today. As you can see, we have them all right along in a line down here at the bottom of your screen, and we're just going to be putting them in the normal S, A, B, C, D categories, and we're going to start off with Bank. Bank is an OG, it's been around for a really long time, and I think it's overhated a little bit. I don't necessarily think it's the best map in the game, but I don't really think it's all that bad either. I'm going to throw Bank in B category, but I would understand A, so I totally get that, but no lower than B for me. Border, this is one I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on. Now, if you guys understand or have any clue why Border gets so much hate, please let me know in the comments, because I really don't understand to this day why people always ban this map. Border is a good map, and I know for defensive purposes it's not necessarily ideal to be defending first floor bathroom tellers, but I think overall this map is really good. It's certainly better than most. I'm putting it in the A category. Chalet is probably one of the most liked maps in the game. I would say there's not many people who hate on this map. And I would also say in terms of just a complete map, you know, both on attack and defensive sides, it's probably the best map in the game, at least in my opinion. I'm going to put Chalet in the S tier just for now. We might have to move this all around afterwards, but that's where we're going with for right now. No maps have hit that bottom 2 range yet, but we are certainly going to be getting to that area soon in just a few minutes here. But for now, we have Clubhouse. Clubhouse, again, I think is a little bit of similar reasoning to Chalet. Like, it's pretty viable on both defense and attack. I'm not really all that mad about it. Actually, if anything, I'm pretty happy to play Clubhouse anytime that I get on that map. I'm going to say Clubhouse is probably in that same tier as Chalet, one of the best maps in the game. Coastline, I have another unpopular opinion of. I really don't love playing this map. Now, if I had to choose between Coastline and maybe some of these other maps down the line that you know are going to get put in a low rank, I'd choose Coastline. I understand that. I know how to play Coastline really well. It's been around for a really long time, but that does not make it a good map by any means. Now, when you're on attack on Coastline, it's definitely more tolerable than when you're on defense. Defending this map is like torturous, but I do understand that this map is nowhere near bottom 2 range. I'm going to put it in the B tier next to Bank here. Now, New Consulate, I don't think I'm really ever going to get used to this map. I thought that maybe the rework would come out and, I'd get a little bit more used to it. I'd like it a little bit better, but I'm not really in that range yet. I'm going to put it in the C category. I think D is a little bit too aggressive, but I think B is way too high. Consulate before the rework would be like B or A, but they really messed up the map, so we're going to put it in C. Now with Emerald Plains, I've heard that people can actually tolerate this map, but in relation to some of these other maps that we're going to get to, I really can't bring myself to put it any higher than that C tier. I think you'll understand better when we get to a few more maps down the line here. I think I'll use them to explain exactly why I have Emerald Plains where it is. But first, we're going to go to Cafe. I think Cafe is about as solid as an A material map as it gets. I'm never mad to play Cafe. I mean, it's good for defense, it's good for attack, and it's obviously been around for so long that people really understand how to play the map, so it's one that I enjoy probably more than most of these maps on this board, but I know it's probably not S tier, so we're going to leave it in that A category. Now Lair, I think Lair has to go in that D tier. I say this because I would rather play Emerald Plains than Lair. And while we're on the subject, Nighthaven Labs, I'm going to put in the B tier. I pretty much grouped together Nighthaven Labs, Emerald Plains, and Lair just because they're the 3 most recent maps that have been added to the game. So the reason I put Emerald Plains in C tier is because I think it's 1 tier better than Lair, as you can see, but I also think it's 1 tier lower than Nighthaven Labs. So I think this kind of works out that way. We have Nighthaven in B, Emerald in C, and Lair in D. Now Oregon, probably the most loved map in the game. I don't think anyone's really going to complain about me throwing Oregon up in that S tier. I think it totally makes sense for how it is. I mean, just one of the most balanced maps in the game. So many different ways you can play it. I think it's one of my favorites, and objectively it's also one of the best. Now Outback, I think I've actually enjoyed slightly more over the last year or so. A few years ago, it used to be completely unmanageable, but I think it's worked its way up from the D tier to the C tier, so, that's progress right there. I think it makes sense to be on the same tier as, Emerald Plains and Consulate. It makes sense. But I don't know, I know a lot of people have very mixed opinions about this map, so let me know. Now Canal is difficult, because if you are on defense first, I would say that this map is in the A tier, but if you're on attack first, it's probably in the C tier, so I mean, if you're gonna balance them out here, you gotta go B, you gotta go right in the middle. I mean, attacking on this map is just completely impossible. Defending is way too easy. I mean, this is probably the most defensive sided map in the entire game, and it's probably not even close. Maybe you can make some arguments for the two maps that are down here to be more defensive sided, but I think Canal pretty much balances out being in that B tier. I think if we were ranking within the tiers, it would probably be a higher B tier map, but you know, we're not gonna do that, so we're gonna leave it in B. Skyscraper, we're putting it as low as it can go. We're putting it in the D tier. It is my second least favorite map in the game behind Lair. It's been out for so long, and I just don't understand how to play it. And you know, you could say skill issue all you want, but I don't understand how to attack this map. I don't understand how to defend this map. It's a completely different style compared to any other map in the game, and I don't really know how to describe that. But it doesn't flow together well, and it is a cool map design, but there is literally 99% of the other maps in this pool that I would rather play than Skyscraper. Now, Theme Park is definitely one you can make a case for being the most defensive sided map in the game. It's also the last map that we have to rank here. I would say most people would probably put it in the D tier, and I do understand that, especially if you're on attack first. But defending on Theme Park is so easy. And like I said, that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on where you are. But I think it's so easy that it's enough to bring it up to the C tier. I mean, it's almost like Theme Park is a guaranteed overtime match every single time you play it. And I don't know if that's just me, because whoever's on defense, they're going to win all 3 rounds no matter what. So it pretty much just goes 3-3 every single time. And personally, I would just rather play that map than Skyscraper or Lair, where I literally have no idea what I'm doing the entire game on both attack and defense. And I think Theme Park fits in nicely with these 3 other maps here with Outback, Emerald Plains, and Consulate. So just as a quick debrief, taking a look at our entire tier list, we have Chalet, Clubhouse, and Oregon up in that S tier. Totally makes sense, probably the 3 best maps in the game objectively, so it's good that it works out that way. A tier, we have Border and Cafe, definitely 2 that are on the same level, but I understand that some people don't like Border, so you may come at me for that. You may want Border to be a tier lower. But speaking of a tier lower, let's take a look at B. We have Bank, Coastline, Nighthaven, and Canal. This tier is a little bit weird. It almost seems like there should be tiers within the B tier, you know what I mean? Like, I would say Coastline and Bank are on a whole tier higher than Nighthaven and Canal, but it's not enough for them to move up to the A tier by any means, and it's not enough for Nighthaven or Canal to move down to the C tier, so a little bit weird here. But generally, I would say that they're all around the same level. Then after B, we have a pretty big drop off. I would say Consulate, Emerald Plains, Outback, and Theme Park are all decisively lower than any of these maps in B. And then in the D tier, we have Skyscraper and Lair. Again, makes sense, just 2 maps I have no idea how to play on both attack and defense, so I think it all makes sense there. Let me know in the comments what you guys would change, what you don't like, what you do like. I love to have conversations with you guys. But besides for that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.